I've been down and out. I've been living rough. I've been counted out, but damn it, I keep getting up. They said I can't live. I won't survive. I'm supposed to die. Instead, I keep multiplying. They say it's in my blood, my DNA. Cause I ain't giving up. I grind till I find a way. They wanna stop me from rising down, 2012, but it's too late to put the fire out. Okay, as soon as I deciphered it, my life was in the prison, I was living in the bubble, they struggling to breathe, believing in the matrix, stay twisted while they playing tricks with your mind. Now some of y'all would rather hear me rhyme about the crimes I committed, so when I spit a metaphysical jewel, they listen but they unconscious, so they don't do the knowledge, I give them food regardless, no matter how hard it gets. I started this journey alone, now I'm only learning the road better and burning them old bridges. The wheel of life and death is so vicious, from the richest to the brokest. If you focus on the glitter, it's a bittersweet victory. When the mystery is revealed, then maybe we can rebuild the kingdom and bring the throne back home where we belong, in the valley where my forefathers carved it in the stones. Now I've been down and out, I've been living rough, I've been counted out, but damn it, I keep getting up. They said I can't live, I won't survive. I'm supposed to die, instead I keep multiplying. They say it's in my blood, my DNA. Cause I ain't giving up, I grind till I find a way. They wanna stop me from rising down, 2012, but it's too late to put the fire out.
Elijah the Great, or a.k.a. the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the son. He's now excelled to a new title of Elijah the Great, or the Great Elijah, because what he did was great, and he was the greatest messenger to ever live, and the last greatest messenger. So, in personally speaking, the key word is great and greatest, as that is the attribute of the Most High, or Allah. It is greatest or greatest, greatness or greatest. You can include either one of those attributes. Great is an attribute or a title of God. So collectively as gods, we should expect or want to have the willingness to do great things, to be great. If you recall earlier, the great Elijah said, Muslim means entire submission to the will of God. If self is God, or God is a being within, first, manifesting without, then that's simply saying submission to your nature, who you are, is what the title was. So, submitting to your nature is one, and also being that is another thing. When you start to be, when you submit to who you are and you become it, you become the knowledge, you become the God, you become the self-master. That's simply what all those things entail. They say, I, self, Lord, and Master. Self-mastery. And that is the key. A lot of people who so-called follow him or whatnot, which they probably do, to a degree. That's why they can't do anything, because they following what was. If you following knowledge is unlimited if you're following that particular person. That means if you don't have the universal mind, if that person's not there to tell you 1 + 1 is 2, you can't think. And that's what's happening today with these so-called followers of Elijah.
Right.
If they follow the message, they would be gods today. Matter of fact, we're going to get into some theology of time and whatnot. Most people don't even look into the theology of time, which was his last and greatest works, what he all put together during the duration of his 40 years teaching. They don't even touch that. They still on ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. You know, the white man's the devil, and the black man is this and this and that, and do for self, and you know what I mean?
Right.
The 1950s and 40s teachings. So the main point is, we have a new day, as he said. He said, you're at the setting of one sun and the rising of another sun. He also said it won't be a need for you to go to the temple. You'll be the temple. Still, nobody still speaks of that. They still are waiting for him to fly down on the mothership and scoop their crazy ass up. Or they're still selling bean pies and papers when we should have at least producing toilet paper right now. They all are at each other's throat over what Elijah said and blah, 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 blah. Even if he did say some things. Yeah, I asked this person one day. I told him, I said, Elijah didn't teach about oral hygiene. They said, well, so, I said, monodiglyceride and MSG wasn't around when Elijah was here. Are you waiting for him to tell you about that too? I mean, just simple-minded motherfuckers, man. Simple-minded. They want somebody else to tie their shoes for them. They don't want to learn how to tie their own shoes. They want you to sit there and tie them for them, to think for them. Just a bunch of dead niggas with bow ties on and garments. Was that?
That's absolutely correct.
Thinking that they're the ones. They're God's people chose me, and they can't even cook a bean pie right no more. I mean, some of them niggas are selling spoiled pies and charging $9 for a pie and all this shit. Them niggas done went crazy. Seriously. I mean, some of these niggas charging just, what can I say? Since the world of Egypt is money being the root of all evil, if you're not chasing knowledge, you're chasing money. That's the only next power or falsehood of power. You see? Because if you have absolute knowledge, whether it's money, whether it's a woman, whatever thing or material you have, you'll know what to do with it and how to apply it right if you have knowledge, if you have a mind first. Free your mind and your ass will follow. But everybody else want to have the tail leading and their mind is last. Well, I'll deal on that knowledge thing after I get these chips. Then we'll get in that knowledge thing. Or when I see you brothers, with some Escalades or something, then I'll holler at you. We ain't on that. We was on that, we'd be pimping the people and selling dope out of the mosque like they did in the Compton Mosque, like you all. We'll be doing that if we was about the dollar. What would make us any different than you? By segment or who we going to speak on for the night. We don't spoke on the Kemet. We don't spoke on the 5% and the cipher and the religion of the 180 lessons. We talked about the Kemet, people following a civilization that failed, ancient Egypt. You want to be an Egyptian, and the Egyptians failed. So we taught on the Kemet niggas. It ain't much to really say on the Christians. They're so self-explanatory. We already unexposed. They crazy with imaginary God. They get hit by a bus. They not calling on Jesus. They get sick on this all-powerful Jesus. They're not calling on him. They calling 911, or they taking pharmaceuticals from the devil. That's who their God is, mathematically. And that white devil Jesus they got, that's poisoning them every second, every minute. High blood pressure, hog mogs, and chitlins, and hot wings. Too many of them too. So we got on them. On everybody. We ain't teach on it all here. We the gods of it all. I have the authority to judge you all with the absolute truth. All of you. Every last one of you. If you're not doing right and exactly what we have to do today, which is to be gods. And being gods right and exact. Not talking God, being gods. And the only way you can do that is you have to have the thinking. Or back to the absolute mind that we speak about. This is an article on July 7th, 1956 by the great Elijah on the Holy Quran and Bible. And for some people don't want to know how Elijah was great and whatnot. He was great simply because he stood face in hell in the midst of devils, nigger devils and white devils, and taught the absolute truth as the black man is God and the white man was a devil to his face. Told you to your face. And not only he taught you absolute truth, which is necessary to this time, if you are to survive or to be a God, you must have first a thorough knowledge of self and the devil. You have to know who you are, and you have to know who your open enemy is. That's the thorough or the basic knowledge. Or you can go anywhere. He laid that out. So, since we're in accord with great, meaning this is a great time, your Bible reads, a great and dreadful day. So it's a great day. We're dealing with great men today. Not average men, not so-so men. Great. And we're also dealing with a dreadful time. The mind or thinking that's not going to be in accord with the great minds. So, that's what makes him great. Because all gods are great. We show and prove in our works on how great we are. And it don't depend on so much of what you got rather than who you are and what you know. As he's taught, if not one person saw it, even when he taught, he says, Allah told me, come and bring me the keys and we go. So that means the knowledge is self-sufficient. It don't need another person to validate it. The truth stands on its own. So it's like back to the 1 + 1. If somebody knows it's 2 and they know the truth that it stands on its own and somebody else want to be crazy and say it equals 49,